Hey everyone, recently I was accused of shilling Dells. Apparently I'm a Dell shiller. Now I want to make it perfectly clear that the mansion that I own, the 4 Bugattis, and my supermodel wife have nothing to do with the fact that Dell is paying me off in order to make sure that you buy one of their computers because they're the best things since sliced bread. But seriously, what we want to find out today is if this Dell Inspiron all-in-one 245415 is any good, and if you should buy one yourself. Now before we get started, I want to make it very clear that this channel, and myself included, we do not accept any kind of sponsorships, money, endorsements, anything that would sway or bias our opinion. We take great pride in the transparency, and every single product that we review on this channel, we purchase ourselves. That ensures that we deliver to you the most accurate review possible. Anyway, moving right along. The LCD screen on this computer. It's bright, it's colorful, it's an in-plane switching display, so it has very, very nice viewing angles. And according to Dell, it has low blue light blocking in it. We still haven't figured out a really good way to test that, but basically if you're the kind of person that stays up late at night working on their screen, such as an accountant or data entry person, a computer programmer, then this computer's panel won't be too bad on your eyes. It is non-glare, so that means that you can work under direct light or in front of a window or something like that pretty easily. And all in all, we find that this panel is pretty good for watching movies, and it doesn't have a lot of black backlight bleed. The blacks are deep, the whites are true. It's all in all a great panel, and it is awarded a 4 out of 5. It is missing features such as HDR or touchscreen, so that is why we didn't give it a 5 out of 5. It also, for the price point, you're kind of getting into that area where you sort of wish you were getting maybe like 2K and above, and it is only a 1080p FHD panel. Comes with a Ryzen 5 5625U, comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM DDR4, and a 256 gigabyte NVMe solid state drive. The RAM and NVMe solid state drive in here are both user upgradable, or rather they are upgradable, but it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge cracking into the back case and getting to those things. You might wanna have a computer shop do it. Nevertheless, if you wanna upgrade the RAM and the solid state storage, you can. I'm tired. Do I look tired? Somebody tell me in the comment section if I look tired or not. But you get pretty good bang for your buck with those Radeon graphics in there as well. OpenCL score gets something like an 11,103. And then as far as single core score is concerned, you get a 1760 and then a multi-core score of 4471. All of that translates to this thing being an actually respectably powerful computer. But that said, we only give the specs on this thing a 3 out of 5. And that's because if you compare it to something like the Lenovo IdeaCentre 3, you get a lot more bang for your buck. Basically, you get roughly the same processor, but you get twice the amount of storage and even sometimes twice the amount of RAM for less money. So ultimately, we think that while this computer is powerful and has very nice specs on it, they are charging quite a bit of money for not as much oomph, so to speak. But materials are awarded a 4 out of 5. It is made out of very good high quality plastics. It's easy to service and get into. Ultimately, we really, really love the little stands on here as well. This computer comes in 2 flavors. Basically, you've got the little stands on the side, and then there's also a version that has a stand in the middle. Screen can bend over like pretty decently far back. I'll try to get some B-roll of what that looks like, and sort of just stands almost perfectly erect. Perfectly erect if you want it just looking straight up. Contrary to popular belief on YouTube, the screen does not elevate up and down. I tried getting schooled by a bunch of people that have seen maybe like one all-in-one do it, and then they said that that was like a standard feature, but just take it from me, somebody that sees literally 1,000 computers a month. All-in-ones don't generally do that, and neither does this one, but it doesn't take away from the score. No, it is a very good machine. Features on it though is where this thing is gonna take a little bit of a hit. It's only a 2 out of 5. Why did we ding it so badly? Well, it does have a little webcam here at the top, which is nice, and it's recessed, you know, so you can kind of hide it if you don't want it spying on you. But ultimately, this thing doesn't have anything like HDR, doesn't have a touchscreen. It does have an extra 2.5-inch SATA slot on the inside as long as you're comfortable with taking off the back cover. So while it's not as easily accessible as the Lenovo, it's still a nice touch. And you're getting into a price point here where even though it's a sub $700 computer, but you're getting into a price point here where you sort of wish it had just a few more features on it to make it sort of worth your while. That said, it does have 2 HDMI slots, although we will get into that more in the I/O section, and it does support throughput HDMI, but it's also missing things like Thunderbolt and any kind of like, I don't know, frills and fancy stuff. But at least the keyboard and mouse that come with it are wireless, if not just a little bit basic. So ultimately, it's a no-frills computer. Kind of the nice thing about that, I guess, is that there's like less to maybe go wrong with it. But that said, they could have done to maybe just give you they could have just given you a little kiss on the cheek with something extra. But where it lacks its features, it absolutely makes up for it in sound. Speakers are awarded a 4 out of 5. In fact, they are some of the best speakers that we have ever heard in an all-in-one that's not an Apple product. They get really, really loud. They get really, really nice high, mids, and lows. There's a lot of character throughout the entire band. These things get loud as hell. In fact, when I was testing them, I actually had to turn the volume down because it was beginning to hurt my little delicate ears. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, like a lot of people say they don't need good speakers because they're gonna use a set of headphones regardless. But, you know, we kind of appreciate it when a company gives you some nice quality speakers in there. That makes this computer absolutely ideal for watching a movie with some friends or family while sitting around the table, whatever. And again, the screen lends itself to such an activity as well. So yeah, ultimately Dell did a great job with the speakers on here. We would really love to see them and more manufacturers continue that trend of putting good quality audio in their machines. Now, I/O is an interesting one on this thing. We gave it a 4 out of 5, primarily because we dinged it so badly on the features category and also because I shilled Dell's. But ultimately, the I/O in this computer it's pretty solid. The only thing that it's missing really is maybe like an additional USB-C port or Thunderbolt 4 on it. But you do get on the back here, and I'm gonna show some B-roll of this, you get one super speed USB port, conventional type A. You get 2 HDMI ports. One of them is a throughput HDMI. So that means that basically there is a little button on the bottom of this thing where if you plug in your PlayStation 5 or Xbox into it, you can use this thing as a screen, and we think that is a really, really nice touch. It comes with a gigabit Ethernet jack on the back as well. By the way, it does have Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth built in. It also has 2 additional USB type A super speed ports. It has a TRRRS jack on it for both audio and microphone usage, and then it has a full-size SD camera card reader on it too. And then interestingly enough, on the side here, on the right side next to the little speaker port is where they put your USB-C. I don't know why they didn't put that in the back, and they also maybe could have added another one on this side. They didn't though, but that's okay. No, it does not come with a DVD burner or reader on it. That's not really a thing on these Dells. But I/O is gonna be really solid for somebody that's into like photography. So for example, if you're the kind of person that takes a lot of raw footage, you bring it back home, you pop in your SD card, you can unload everything on here, and you can edit on that really, really nice screen. It's also gonna be really good for somebody like a podcaster or somebody that works with audio. You've got a big enough screen on there to do some editing, and again, all that horsepower in the computer too will allow for some good editing too, as well. And then ultimately, because you've got the USB-C port on there, you can add in something like a switch, microphones, that kind of thing. And ultimately, that is who this computer is for. It's not really for like a hardcore video editor, somebody that's gonna be editing like 4K footage, but if you're somebody that just does some general GoPro and some like little small 1080 YouTube videos, certainly more than adequate in terms of power. Podcasters, photographers, very, very light gaming such as Minecraft and the other one, Roblox. You could certainly play some RDR2 or GTA 5, other optimized AAA titles on like sort of like lower settings.
Good girl. Yeah, you good girl? You all right, girl?
Also, this is going to be a really great computer for those that do streaming from their Xbox or their PlayStation. Somebody that's, you know, doing something like Twitch, where you don't need a whole lot of power in the computer to drive good graphics. You just need something to sort of punch it in, do some of that number crunching, and then spit it out on the internet. And then lastly, I think this is going to be like a great, all in all, like a great family computer, something that just sort of sits on in your like, you know, family's like home. I don't know if that's really a thing anymore, actually. You know, when I was a kid, like the household only had like one computer. Now, I guess it's kind of standard practice for there to be multiple computers in a household. But if there isn't, this is definitely going to be a great single computer, family computer home. Anyway. All in, that awards this computer about a 3.5 out of 5, which, you know, ultimately is not too bad. Do we recommend the Dell Inspiron 24? And the answer is absolutely yes. If you're looking for like a basic all-in-one, again, something that's just gonna sort of do your everyday biddings, this thing is perfect. Yeah, it's not as feature-rich or as maybe like innovative as the Lenovo. It's also more expensive than the Lenovo, and gun to our head, we would probably take the Lenovo over this. But if you can only buy this one, like basically, in other words, if you can't find the Lenovo or you're a Dell loyalist or whatever, this is a great machine, and we are pretty sure that you are going to be very happy with it. So is that shilling the Dell? You be the judge. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please tell your friends and family about this channel. If you have any questions, reach out to us in the comments section, and we will be back with another video really soon.